Welcome back, everybody. Tuesday morning episode of The Link. Jason Salas, Sabrina Salas, Matanani, Uncle Ken on the board, Joser on the iPad, and you all over the world joining us where we talk about things that are making Guam wonderful. Some people in the Zoom room right now talking about exactly that topic. However, we got a update from Roy Kinata, who puts on Facebook, roads are wet, and they most definitely are. So please, 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 everybody, be safe when you're making your way around Guam on the various thoroughfares right now. And Bree, this kind of is apropos because we're talking this morning about a very important topic and one that probably people don't know how broad it is, distracted driving.
Right. April is actually National Distracted Driving Awareness Month. And joining us now in the Zoom room, we have DPW Director Vince Arreola. We also have Sil Javier from the Office of Highway Safety. And we have Alex Blanquisco with the Guam Police Department's Highway Division. And I think joining us a little bit later is the Insurance Association of Guam, Heads Up Guam Group, Monique Basinger.
And how dare you forget to mention your auntie as well.
Yeah, Auntie Therese, I'm sorry. Therese Matanani.
Therese Matanani is joining us too.
I'm done. I'm going home.
I'll see you on the road, Sabrina.
Well, no,
Auntie, lick my ears. How dare you?
Therese, that is a perfect way to actually open this interview because seeing people on the road and actually paying attention to the road is the point.
Okay. I'll make sure she's not on her phone.
Okay, and also joining us, as Bree was saying, our good friend Monique Basinger from the Insurance Association of Guam. Good morning, Mo. I know you're. Let me nudge Mo if she can get her camera. I have not seen Mo in a very, very long time. We work together on several projects, so it's good to have her here for her perspective as well. So guys, maybe Therese, if you can maybe just take point on this and everything like that. What, by definition, is distracted driving?
Okay. I'm sorry. Distracted driving is when you're motorists using their, motorists driving along Marine Corps Drive and they start using their phone, and just a few seconds off that roadway, you can accidentally or crash into another vehicle in front of you, or even hit a pedestrian of some sort or another. So distraction is it's a very important law for Guam, because once you're distracted, you're harming the other motorists on the roadways. So pay attention, you drive, you text, you will pay.
Okay, and from a legal standpoint, Officer Blanquisco, what are the penalties that somebody that, either because of, they lost focus for a moment, or if you and your colleagues at GPD actually see someone and cite them for distracted driving, what do offenders face?
Right, so it'll be $100 plus court fees, and really my friends over at the Traffic Violations Bureau tell me, don't give them the amount, because once they get there, and they only bring the amount that we told them, then they start complaining that, the officer told me it should be this amount. But as per the law, it's $100 fine plus court fees.
Mm-hmm.
And then for every subsequent violation, it increases by percentage. Mm-hmm. So it's best to contact Traffic Violations Bureau and inquire from them how much a fine would be, because it's also based on your traffic history.
Are we seeing a lot of distracted driving cases here on Guam?
Oh, yes, we are. Mm-hmm. And actually, nationwide, it accounts for 25% of all traffic crashes. 25 to 50%, right.
And I'm sure no one on Zoom in our discussion this morning feels more strongly about this than Director Vince Arreola over at DPW, because, Vince, you and your team have done so much to improve Guam's roads and make them modern and everything. You didn't basically fix our highway system so that people can be making TikToks while they're driving.
That's correct, James.
Yeah.
First off, let me thank you folks at KUAM for having us on your show and helping us to promote this this project that we're on. Also, thank you very much to our staff at Office of Highway Safety, the Insurance Institute here in Guam, and of course GPD. But yeah, I've said it from the moment I got on board at DPW. Our job is to one of our biggest jobs is to pave roads and make sure that we have nice, safe, smooth roads. But with smooth roads comes speed and distracted driving and all kinds of other things. But these folks, I think our drivers, our Guam drivers all over, they just need to take responsibility when they get behind the wheel. They are operating a machine that weighs anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000, 5,000 pounds. They're going at 30 miles an hour, 35, 40, 45 miles an hour. And that's a big issue. And they're not just driving by themselves. They're driving along with hundreds and thousands of other drivers. So they have to be aware of not just themselves, but the other drivers around them, like Therese was mentioning. And so, our message to them is take responsibility when you get behind the wheel, whether it's distracted driving or impaired driving or driving under the influence. You can't do that. You got to pay attention, and because there are consequences if you don't pay attention. I think a lot of folks, they like to put the blame on everybody or everything else when they get into an accident. Oh, the road wasn't good, or there was this other driver, or there's something wrong with my car. No, you are behind the wheel. It's all on you. It's not on anybody else. And so these folks need to take responsibility and just be more attentive and more careful when they drive, especially depending on the environment, like what we're having right now. There's a lot of rain. The roads are slippery, and we'll try our best to give you the best roads that we can. We are doing some major construction right now, and we're using a new type of anti-skid paving, and that's going to really help out a lot. But to me, 90% of it is on the driver. If everybody pays attention and stays on the road where they're supposed to be, at the right and the correct speed, our traffic accidents will go down tremendously.
Now, Vince and maybe Sil, I'd like your feedback on this, because in addition to infrastructure, I would assume that the educational campaign and making sure that the young generation is aware that these aren't things that you do when you are behind a moving motor vehicle and everything. So like when it comes to driver's education, or like even pamphlets or online resources to let kids know that when you're learning how to drive and when you ultimately take responsibility for a car, you have to basically maintain focus at 100% of the time. And that, Vince, I would say, is part of the infrastructure of the roadway. So what are you guys doing to make sure that the young people know about that?
Yeah, I'll let Sil talk about that, because she's that's the primary purpose of her office.
Okay, so Jason, what we usually do is we target the high schools and middle schools, only because this is where the new novice drivers come in place. So we go out there and we schedule presentations with, we co-partner with Highway Patrol, and we talk to the students. We give them out brochures on Guam's traffic laws and let them know about the consequences out there once you get behind the wheel. So these are the students and also middle school students that we focus on. And so right now we've been going out to the schools with a pedal cart, and we use the goggles and the goggles is for alcohol impaired or marijuana. And we let them drive that pedal cart, and we let them experience what it's like to be behind the wheel while they're impaired through alcohol or marijuana.
What
it's been an effective one.
What are some of the activities you guys have planned?
Well, I know we're gonna do a lot of social media. We're gonna blitz out messages about distracted driving on Facebook and Instagram, because that's where we know where all the young ones go to, and they'll see the messages that we have, so that we want to educate them about it and the dangers of distracted driving. And this is also in joint with the Insurance Association of Guam, with their theme of heads up, put your phone down, and with Highway Patrol. So we've already know Highway Patrol is also going out there doing their enforcement, keying in on distracted drivers. Correct, Sergeant Alex?
Yes, ma'am. And the last distracted driving campaign that we had Officer Marvin Desamito actually posted by ITC building, and that went viral on social media, along with Officer Morgan Wages, and people were saying, okay, we're observing the police officers at ITC building They think that we're only focusing on seatbelts, but we're also looking at the distracted drivers who are using their phones and have their electronic communicating devices in their hand. That's all that you need to do to violate the law, okay? You don't need to be actually texting. As long as you have the electronic communication device in your hand, that satisfies the law.
Mm-hmm. And Sergeant, well, if I may, I remember talking to your colleague Sergeant Paul Tapal years ago, and he was actually saying that distracted driving, because we talk about how broad this definition is. He was actually saying that if you're while your vehicle is moving when you're going down the road, if you're looking and trying to like tune the radio or you're trying to figure out what Spotify playlist to play with, that is distracted driving too. So it's not specifically like about the phone, but there are other ways that if you're not 100% focused on operating your vehicle, your hands are on 10 and 2, you're still in violation of that. Is that correct?
Right, that's correct. Because actually the definition would be any activity that you do that takes the attention away from your driving skills. So it could be mental, it could be visual when you take your eyes away from the road, it could be auditory when you have earphones on, or it could be physical when you're reaching for something on the floorboard of the vehicle or in the center console. That distracts you from the giving your driving task full attention.
So even if you're like talking on the phone, FaceTime, and you have your phone on one of those consoles,
the
same
mouse
thing.
or...
Yeah, same thing.
Correct. So anything that takes your attention away from your driving task is distracted driving.
Yeah, I'm not a law enforcement officer, so like I don't have any expertise in this, but I'm just saying if you're going down the road, say like at drive time at like maybe 2:30, say like the schools are getting out and you're going down Marine Corps Drive and you're leaning over reaching into your glove compartment to get something, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Because actually if you're driving 35 miles per hour, if you really look at it, you're traveling, your velocity or your speed is actually 51 feet per second. So let's say you use your phone for 3 seconds to look at that text. You're taking your eyes away from the road 150 feet. Okay, so it's like closing your eyes and hoping that I'm not going to hit anything. But traffic condition changes constantly. So you constantly have to be aware of your driving. You need to be constantly aware of the vehicles in front of you or if there's any pedestrians that are going to cross the street. So it's very crucial that you pay 100% attention to your driving task.
Do you have? I know you mentioned that distracted driving is an issue here on Guam, and Sil, you mentioned how we're going out to the schools. The statistics on distracted driving on Guam, does it scale younger drivers, or are we talking about older drivers?
Right. So I guess you guys know about the millennials are into the electronics. So data is showing that it's mostly involving our younger generations. They're being involved in crashes while being distracted. And I also want to add on that with the fines, there's a website under Guam Superior Court Traffic Violations Bureau where you can view the fines and get an accurate amount. Because the fines increases as the more offenses that you commit. For the second offense, it'll be $500 plus court fines or court fees. And then on the third violation, it goes as high up to $1,000 plus court fees. So it's really going to hurt you if you're constantly being caught utilizing your electronic communication device while you're operating a vehicle.
And maybe if we can maybe use an analogy, I'd like to go back to Vince, because Vince, I think you very effectively said that there are hundreds of thousands or 100,000 other Guamanian motorists all acting in unison trying to make this work. For the young people out there, you know about Snapchat, you know about Instagram and the network effects. You're part of a network when you're on the road, and that network has to operate in a synchronized way. And if you're doing something crazy and everything, you cause that to break down.
Right. And I think, we were all young once, right? And when we're in our, when we're teenagers, when we're in our 20s, even our 30s, we think we're invincible. We can jump off a one-story house and not get hurt. we can ride our motorcycles, we can do this, we can do that, and we can never get hurt. And so it's probably the same thing that follows through as Alex was mentioning. And so, when they're in a car, and they're driving, oh yeah, I can send this text because I'm young, I'm good, I'm coordinated, I'm fast, I can take the risk. That's really it. I can take this risk. And not knowing what that risk really can hold up to. As Alex was mentioning, in 3 seconds, you're going to, going at 30, 35 miles an hour, you're going to travel 150 feet. That's a long way, and if a car stops in front of you in 3 seconds, you're going to hit them. And so, it's all about risk, and I think that's where the insurance industry comes in, because that's their entire business. It's all about risk. And so, I think if the numbers are showing that distracted driving violators are more in the lower age spectrum, then we need to take a look at that and remind them that you might think you can do this because you're young, you're fast, you're your reflexes are right on spot. You're an athlete. I don't know, maybe you're a jock, so on and so forth. You need to check that at the door and leave that once you get inside the car. Take your ego away and think about yourself, think about your family, think about the others on the road. Because if you really look at accidents don't just happen because the road, I don't know, maybe just tilted and took your car and put it in the other lane, or the accident didn't happen because your brakes failed or whatever. It happened because you're driving and you weren't driving and you weren't paying attention. So, we need to be really cognizant and really aware of situations like that.
Yes, sir. Practicing Nafamalik on the road, everybody. Take care of one another.
Yep.
The last thing to forget about.
Is Mo in the Zoom room?
Oops, is that okay? Mo,
We
do you want
to give Mo an opportunity?
Yeah, if
talk
you,
about
yeah,
the
Mo,
heads
if
up
you
long
wish.
group.
Monique Basinger, of course, like an expert on the topic of insurance. Director Ariola was just mentioning that. Mo, would you like to jump in?
Well, I can't really add much. I can only tell you the history of the campaign. I'm actually not even on the committee this year, but I was the original campaign chair, so that's why they asked me to speak this morning.
Sure.
So honestly, we started this and we DPW was already working, and we came alongside them because we were seeing numbers increase, just in general, numbers of accidents, simple things, fender benders to more severe accidents. And while people weren't necessarily getting ticketed, as you're interviewing individuals involved, you're finding that a phone's involved in some way, right? So we knew we needed to do something to educate the community and come alongside DPW with their efforts. And we started the Heads Up Distractions Won't Get You There campaign. And so far COVID, of course, took the cells out of everything for everyone, but we were making some real progress in social media. And again, we're focused, like DPW, on a younger demographic. We're trying to get them when they're just starting to drive, because if they get good habits in the beginning, then they won't be the 30-year-olds. We're focusing on that, and we're focusing on professionals, because we also find that professionals tend to check their messages while driving.
Absolutely.
So that, yeah.
Well, if I can just add to this, we have
demographic.
one of our viewers on Facebook, Maggie Monroe Anderson, who just actually bought an electric vehicle. Of course, we all know that is the future, and she actually sent me a screenshot, guys. I'll show this to our Zoom room participants and then show it to you guys. She says with the new EVs, it actually measures your attention level. So this is data that's going to be recorded and probably sent to the police department, to your insurer, to basically say, like, if you try and be slick and just say, oh no, I was paying attention, well, your car says otherwise. so you need to watch your car, because your car is watching you too. And that's a wonderful piece of technology to have to make sure that you stay on point.
Well, all right, thanks, Auntie Therese, Sil, Vince, Alex, Mo. Any final comments to close out this interview?
Well,
Right, so go ahead, Ms. Hill.
okay, first of all, from our office, and on this distracted driving campaign. We really want to just let everyone know out there on the road, as it has been repeated, that please pull over. If you need to use your phone, put your phone down. If you don't need to, put it on Do Not Disturb, and focus your eyes on the road. Because for every wrongdoing you do, it may not be you, but it could be somebody else's life you take due to unnecessary eye movement on the road because you want to look at your phone or what.
Alex?
Go ahead,
Right.
Alex.
So I just want to add on to that, pulling over or mitigating the risk, right? You can, first thing you can do is you can lock your electronic device in the center console, right? So you won't touch it at all during your trip. Or you can pull over. It has to be on the shoulder of the road, on the side of the road. Pulling over on the median, okay, is still a no-go. You will get a citation, okay? It has to be off the road, off the highway completely, or pull on the shoulder of the roadway, okay?
Yeah.
And one thing that our motorists need to keep in mind is, as your attention level decreases, your risk increases, okay? So put that phone down, keep your head up, and get a big picture of the roadway, and constantly remind yourself, I gotta focus on the road, I gotta focus on the road.
I like that. That was very, very good marketing there, Officer Alex. Phone down, head up. And Vince, final word is yours, please.
Okay, again, thank you very much to you folks at KOM. Really appreciate this opportunity to help spread the word and promote our project of distracted driving. And again, as I mentioned earlier, it's really just a matter of paying attention and knowing exactly what what basically you're doing when you're driving. Like I said, you're taking this 3,000, 4,000 pound machine down the road with hundreds and thousands of other people. So be aware of that and respect others, respect yourself, and pay attention while you're driving. I think the more that people pay attention and to their driving and just drive on the road, drive safely, I think we're going to see accidents really drop. And so that'll be good for everybody. And thank you again for GPD for being out there and enforcing the traffic laws here on Guam.
You're
All right,
welcome.
thanks everyone. Have a wonderful and safe day. Roads wet today. We wish all of you a very happy and blessed Easter, and please stay safe. Thanks for the info.
Yeah.
You too.
Thank you all. Happy Easter.
Thank you.
All right, interesting comment on that. Joser was even asking, and he was whispering to me, and he goes, if we see someone that is distracted when they're operating a motor vehicle, is there anything that we can do as part of, like Vince said, as part of like that network? Should we beep at them? Should